Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of WWE Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, like I said again, even though I am a content maker on women's bodybuilding, I'm still a fan of the women of mixed martial arts. And it's a big weekend, both for bodybuilding and for WMMA. As you know, a couple of days ago, I was part of a live stream where actually it was recorded Zoom conference discussion for the Female Bodybuilding channel. I was there along with AJ Kelly, who's the CEO of Female Bodybuilding channel, his tech man, and the man keeps pushing up my woman, JB Jorgen. But we call him JB because his last name I can't pronounce too well. I know his first name is Jorgen, but the last name I ain't gonna try to pronounce. But he's tech guy, crew guy, both these guys. And I got to meet. I actually saw her at Savannah, and I wish I should have reached out and said something, but I didn't want to bother her. That's Ashley Hadley, great lady, also up and coming competitor who made her debut and then hit the ground. Both her and Angela Yao, who made their debut last year and got qualified for the Olympia. That's Chelsea Dion. And I hope maybe in the future I get to do some interviews with those ladies. I mean, I just, it's great. And also shout out to David Bryant over there at female bodybuilding at the female bodybuilding forum. Cool guy, great person. I appreciate what guys he's a great guy. Who's doing content on MMA. Here we got a man here, KL the Wanderer. I thought we were going to be on at 5. No, this is something else, KLA. I know you don't know much about WMA. This is something else that I saw that I need to talk about. I saw this morning because I've been trying to stay on my WMA as much as I can. Also, he says, watch your interview. Didn't finish watching it, but watch a good portion. That's good. You can do this. Sometimes we don't have to watch it. What I do sometimes, why have your interviews? I'm working on something. I listen to it. So when I'm working on one of my comparison videos, or I'm working on something like one of my other videos, I'll listen to your interviews while I'm working on it. So you don't have to watch, you can listen. Also, he says, Dave was funny. Dave was pretty funny. He's a pretty good cat. I hope to meet him someday because he lives in Florida. Maybe someday if I ever think about going to Tampa or maybe Orlando, because they have the Tampa Bay Pro and you have the Olympia now in Orlando again. I might meet him. I know quite a few ladies I've become friends with who live down there in the Florida, where I call the Wild Wild West. They have the worst governor in the world. I mean, DeSantis is a piece of. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to talk about this. So anyway, if you look at the title of my video, the story is that Deanna Vitamin D Bennett, who's tonight is fighting for the women's flyweight champion against Liz Gorilla Carmouche. She missed weight. It's not good. It's like I said, one thing for women in mixed martial arts, especially in MMA thing, missing weight's not good. But his thing is, I talked about this. Women and men are biologically different. So we are the same race, but we're different species, in details of that. Oh, we got my sisters came here. Miss Fishiana Fights. Hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Fishiana. Hey, you have time to come in here? I'm going to put a link in the videos in the video comment section. If any of you, Fishiana or KL are interested in taking part and coming on here, it's been a while. I miss my discussions with the lovely Miss Fishiana. She loves Eddie Kane. Duck. The actor played Eddie Kane. I forgot his name. I think you know his name is Fishiana. So if any of you interested, especially Miss Fishiana, she does content on boxing. Also, another big event coming up for boxing is Devontae Tank. What's his last name? I forget. Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I mean, it's and also UFC's having their event. I think it's supposed to be Kansas City, I believe, coming up that same day. I think with UFC, they always want to do when they have a fight, same time, a big boxing event. They usually try to push it up a few hours before that because it's hard for them to compete with boxing, even though boxing kind of fell off. Um, you know, kind of fell off. It's a lot. Still, it's still popular. It may still has a way to climb. But anyway, but like I said, I'm a concept, fan of mixed martial arts, and I still support it. So anyway, my man, yo, KO the one says, "Let's Fishiana go." You probably said, "Let's go Fishiana." You want to come on? Like I said, I leave the link in the description. So you want to come on and join me. So anyway, I saw this on as I follow quite often. It was posted originally on the female bodybuilding Lions Den Lions Den WMA community Facebook page. It's a page that we are dedicated, created by Amanda Coach. It's dedicated to as you know, the Lions Den boxing community is very popular. I know Miss Fishiana knows about it because 78T in sports, 78 Sports TV. He's the guy who is he's the father of it. Amanda Coach is one of the capos. The mob. My coach is the capo. And he created his own site on Facebook, which is the Lions Den WMMA community, which is we gives to teach to women mixed martial arts, not just mixed martial arts, boxing too. I have my own channel too. It's I have a channel called The Sweet Ladies of Science, and it does do competition. Talk about women boxing, women mixed martial arts, also wrestling. Oh wow, here she is. Hello, my dear.
Hello, George Page. Thank you for inviting me.
It's been such a long time. I feel like an episode of Color Purple, man, at the end of Color Purple when Celie got to see her sister.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. We miss you over at the old spot. It's just changed there since, but I do miss you. It's been a long time. And this is I think the first time we actually got to talk together, isn't it?
It is. It is. And it's been 2 years. It's actually been
Yeah.
2 years since the last time I was live. I did a little test the other day. So I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Yeah, well, come back. Come on, girl. Come back. Come home, girl. Come home. Be like Martin. But like I said, I know you do. I know you do a lot of competition, a lot of discussion on boxing. But
Mhm.
also, I think we used to also talk about MMA now and then back on the liquor spot site.
Yep.
Because I used to bring it up because me and Tate are big MMA fans, and I know you and Ashley and Quay were more boxing fans, but you were getting into the MMA thing. So
Right.
yeah, and this is a big event for Bellator. They're having two fights back to back, one tonight and one tomorrow. The first one is both of them are title fights. The first one is Liz Gorilla Carmouche up against um, Deanna Vitamin D Bennett, and this is for the women's 125 title. The problem is that Deanna missed weight. She came in 126.2, which
It's
is
a 125 limit.
yes. With championship fights, there is you have the limit is to 125. You cannot go over.
Okay.
See, so like if it's like any other ordinary fight, any other ordinary 3 rounder, they
Mhm.
give you at least a pound and a half allowance, sometimes two.
See, I never knew that. Thank you for
Yes,
that.
yes, you're welcome. I educated you here.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I like Deanna Bennett because both her and Liz both fought in the UFC. As originally, as everything know about Liz. Liz is a former United States Marine. So, like, I also thank you service to anybody who serves. I say I appreciate the sacrifice you have made for our country, and that's because I know I've heard stories how some people in the military, especially veterans, they get tired of people saying thank you for service. It's
I
just,
don't get tired of it. I appreciate everybody that says thank you.
and then you serve.
I did 21 years.
Where I will say to you, madam, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice you have made for our country.
Thank you, darling. I
You're
appreciate
welcome, man. Yeah. She called me darling. Okay. Hey. I feel like that. The king of the heart. I feel like that. I love quoting movies. Remember the Wizard of Oz with Dorothy and them? How the carry lion.
one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, this fight's coming up tonight.
Can you tell me? Okay, so was it the champion or was it the challenger that was overweight?
The challenger, Deanna Bennett.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is
So
it like boxing? Is so now it's like the belt's not on the line type thing?
what Liz says, she's gonna put the belt on the line.
Oh wow.
But what happens is if Liz loses, the bet will become vacated.
Okay.
So because usually UFC would do this whenever they have like with a while back. I think it was Charles Oliveira. He fought against I forget who forgot who Charles fought. I think it was like Justin Gaethje or somebody. I forgot. It was for a title fight, and even though Charles Oliveira was a champion, that's in UFC. He
Mhm.
lost. He even though he won the fight, the I think he couldn't fight for the title because he won the fight, but he couldn't fight for the title because he came in um, about I think it's like a pound and a half, maybe about 2 pounds overweight.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not good. So that's bad when it happens to the champions. One thing when the challenger does it, it happens quite fast. I think with women in mixed martial arts, it's a lot tougher, especially for women in boxing is a lot tougher because you women, your biology different from us men.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you can menstruate. You also are you carry babies and then it's hard for women to bring that because, like I said, I talk about this in bodybuilding. It
Mhm.
it's tough for women to, especially to fight their natural, body chemistry. It
Yeah.
affects in the long run, especially as especially if you want to have kids. I got a couple ladies who are friends of mine who are bodybuilders who have children, some who don't. But like with MMA, it's kind of the same. They give you allowance. Like I know in boxing, they give you have a rehydration clause in boxing. I think didn't Ryan say this fight with him and Tank there's no rehydration clause.
Um. Yeah. It's a rehydration clause, sort of.
Hmm.
It's like a halfway rehydration clause, or so basically what it is. They weigh in today.
Hmm.
They're gonna weigh in again tomorrow, and he can't. But in the time that he weighs in tomorrow, it can't be over a certain amount of weight. But after that, he can put on as much weight as he wants.
Hmm.
You understand? I still don't like it because it's still, to me, it's still some type of advantage and it is a catch weight. I mean, why don't you guys just fight at one weight limit and just go and do it? I don't like all these little different, these loopholes and these asterisks but you know what? The good thing about this fight is that it does nothing for the sport. So I don't know, as far as the catch weights and stuff, I mean, it's not a title fight. Neither one of them has a belt, a real belt. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'd like to see it. The only problem is if Tank wins, which he probably will. I just think that he's not gonna fight Devin Haney. I don't think they want to fight Devin Haney. I don't think they want to fight Shakir Stevenson. I don't think they want to fight the best.
It's kind of like with the situation with Bud and Earl. It's kind of like the best not fighting the best. That's why I think while our people are going over to MMA because we're seeing the best fighting the best, but even in
And
that.
they're willing to pay for it. And they're willing to pay for it. Now this fight right here is $84.99. When's the last time you've heard of a pay-per-view being $84.99? When no belt was on the line.
That's one reason why a lot of people jump on it. Because I think at the most, a UFC fight. I don't think the Bellator fight or the UFC fights are that expensive. I
And
mean,
the last fight that was over $75 was Floyd versus McGregor or something like that,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Floyd
Yeah,
versus Pacquiao. But I don't know what makes them think this damn. Oh, excuse my French.
that's all right. We grown folk here. Yeah,
Okay.
we grown folks here.
I just don't understand what makes people think that Tank is this superstar. He's not a superstar. He might be a star, but he definitely isn't a superstar. He is definitely not the face of boxing. and a lot of people don't know who he is. When I moved, I used to live in Illinois. I moved down south, and I like to converse with a lot of people, and I'll ask them, I'm like, you know who this is? You know who this is? You know who this is? And nobody knows who he is down here.
Hmm.
So, but I guess it's just I don't. I'm not sure, but another thing about Tank, they may have raised the price because I don't know if you know, but he's facing his sentencing hearing in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, remember you talked about the situation where his girlfriend spit on him and he hit her, right?
Oh no, this is a whole nother one.
Oh.
What happened was about 2 years ago, he was involved in a hit and run accident. 4 people
Mm.
were injured, including a lady that was pregnant.
Oh
Well,
shit, that sounds like John Jones situation. Oh god.
Well, check this out. Well, when after he hit the woman, he got out of the car, he apparently looked in the car or looked at the lady that was pregnant. She asked him for help, and he dipped out.
Oh, I want to say a certain word, but I'm not going to say it. It's a word that, yeah, it begins with an N and ends with two consonants that's right between
Hmm.
F and H.
Yep, exactly. So what
Mm.
happened was he was found guilty a couple months ago, and he tried to plea. He tried to do a plea deal, and they said no. And I believe the reason why the judge didn't accept the plea because it was for no jail time. So he already paid off three of the other people, as far as um, for their injuries and stuff like that. But the lady that was pregnant was like, no, I want him to go to jail.
Yeah, she has
So
reasons.
mhm,
She nearly killing her and her child. Yeah, I know
yeah,
the other people say, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna get some cash, but I understand what she's doing. I'm
and
not a parent, never had children, but I understand
might have
that.
to pay her too. He might have to pay her for the rest of her life simply because you know you can get PTSD for something like that. You know what I'm saying? She's
Mm,
pregnant. She has a baby. Who knows? The baby could have damage for the rest of their life. We don't know.
hmm
So yeah, for that, my respect level for him completely has gone down. But that doesn't change, who he is in the ring. But it might change the aspect of the division that he's in. Because if he does get some time, whether it be 6 months, a year, even 90 days, it's gonna affect something. He's gonna gain weight. He won't be training. He won't be able to do his normal thing. And who knows how long it's gonna take him to get back into his rhythm.
hmm
Yeah.
it's like the time we remember when Zab Judah got knocked out by Kasazu, and
Mm,
it took him for a while for get back. See, I watched that fight. I remember watching that fight,
mm.
and Zab did the stupidest thing in the world: take the 8 count, stand up. He could have beat Kasazu.
Yep.
Yeah, but he did stupid thing when he didn't win after that referee he got suspended. He was
Hmm.
he that messed him up.
It is.
Mike was there. Mike was there. And Mike from being from Brooklyn. Mike was there. I remember Mike was trying to call peace. And Mike, how Mike was back then.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sure was.
because I used to love boxing back in the day, but really it has fallen off. With Floyd retired, Roy Jones falling off. Tarver's gone, Tyson gone. A lot of the other guys. Vander Holyfield he fight, but I think he's halfway past dead now. But that's why I pay attention a lot more to MMA. But I pay attention a lot because my channel is dedicated to women. I pay a lot more attention to women in mixed martial arts because those women I consider almost like women's bodybuilding. They don't get as much recognition and respect as the men. They don't get as much money as the men. Even the guys in MMA don't make as much money. It's always depending. If you look at like guys like McGregor and you look at guys like as I call him, Foster Lucky Charms, Conor McGregor, he keeps getting in trouble, but he always gets surpassed. He hit an old man in a bar because he wanted to drink his nasty whiskey.
Hmm.
He threw a dolly in the side of a bus where people got Rose Namajunas. He missed because Rose has mental issues. One fighter got glass in his eye. He couldn't fight that night. Was it
Yeah.
after that? He couldn't, and then he's fighting with DJs and stuff. But he gets a pass all the time. He should be in jail. But like I said, just that old fight of white privilege. But
Yeah.
yeah, but with this fight coming up,
Hmm.
it's a main event. They're gonna have on white. They're gonna have two events. for Bellator. Bellator is the second biggest, if you know anything about Bellator, the second biggest organization in mixed martial arts,
Right.
next to UFC. It's been around. Here's the thing about Scott Coker and Dana White, or I call him Dana Wife Beater if you saw the news lately. You they used to be cool because Scott used to have an organization called Strike Force, and Dana was starting up, just about to start up the UFC. And then when Strike Force folded, a lot of those fighters like Ronda Rousey and some of those Amanda Nunes went over to UFC. And that's the time Dana didn't say he was going to ever do women's mixed martial arts, but eventually he changed his mind. And then after success of people like Ronda Rousey, he really built a division around her. But eventually Ronda Rousey now, she's over in WWE. And you heard this, that WWE and UFC are now merging.
I did hear that. I don't know what it means though.
Well,
I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know what it's going to mean in the future.
well, you might see like especially since a lot of a lot of MMA fighters are big fans of wrestlers. Ronda Rousey used to call herself. She called herself Rowdy Ronda Rousey. That's after Rowdy Ronda Piper. That was I've Brock Lesnar. He used to be an MMA fighter. He was in WC, he was in UFC for a good while. Before he went back to the wrestling. That's where after USADA come in because they was pushing out the steroids. A lot of the guys who was on PED and stuff like that, they had to get out. You have people like quite a few former MMA fighters who who had careers as wrestlers or wrestlers had careers as MMA fighters. But like I said, to me, it's like I did it. Me and my partner, my man, X. I called him. He's doing well because he lost his house. I think he found a place to stay, but he's doing all right. I hope he called me back, sent me a message. I hope he's doing great. But we did it like a couple of weeks ago. We did a thing called Bad Meets Evil. We call Dana Wife be the bad and Vince McMahon the evil. It's like the crossing, but it's because the company Endeavor, I think that runs UFC, they bought out in a way the WWE, Titan Sports, which used to be, that runs WWE, and now I think the Vince has 49% interest, and they have 51% interest. But still, this is Vince McMahon. He's
Wow, if
done.
that's the case, this is probably the first time WWE or WWF hasn't belonged to McMahon, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. Not since his father Jack. I think Jack Tunney was the original boss, and then Vince he took over after Jack passed away. We got here. This is our man here, Mike's Biggs Boxing. Shout out to Mike all the way at George Page. What up? What it do, fam? Yeah, man. Shout out to you, Mike. As you know, Mike does content on boxing. He comes every through. Just give a like. I appreciate that, Mike, for coming through, dropping a like and blessing my channel. Thank you. Shout out to you. If it's on there, I come on and his live streams, give him a shout out. I appreciate him. Like I said, I don't follow boxing much like I used to, but every now and then I might listen to a few live streams, especially Coach might do something every now and then, or you remember when you in the back of the day, liquor spot, y'all used to talk about the boxing stuff. Like I come in now and then just so you support. But anyway, back to this with Bellator. This is gonna have two fights.
Can I ask you a question about this fight again? About you told me about the weight, missing weight. Did she have the opportunity to lose the pound?
No, I don't think they're gonna give opportunity to lose a pound because you know what you have to is sometimes you before the weigh-in you have to really they sometimes they might do it every now and then, but generally most of the time I think they I don't know if how the contract is made, but she doesn't have the opportunity to lose the weight. I mean the fight is coming up tonight. They had the weigh-ins, they had the official weigh-ins and ceremony weigh-in yesterday. So she's not having the opportunity to lose that weight, and that's tough to lose that. I remember when Cyborg was getting to UFC and making her debut, she had to fight at 140 at a catch weight. And I watched that video. It was on ESPN and showed her she was crying and dying. I mean, Tito Ortiz was her manager at the time. He was laughing at her. Tito Ortiz is an asshole anyway. And it's tough, especially as a woman. It's a lot harder. Women, hey, as a man, as a dude that loves women, used to work with women all along for a lot of years. Y'all have hips, you have thighs, you have more higher BMI than men. Now, with guys, it's a little bit easier for us, especially because we have a lot more testosterone, more muscle. It will take us so long to, like me, I was like, this is what Miss Fish on G doesn't know about me. When I was back in the day, when I was about 2-3 years ago, last time we talked, I was nearly 500 pounds. And since my mom passed, I changed my diet, changed my life. I still dip in the little things every now and then because it's hard to break those habits. But I dropped down to like about 420, and it's tough.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank
Oh,
you, thank you. I
I'm
appreciate it.
so happy for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But it's tough. I was a little low at one point, but then I had a little setback. I had some injuries, I had some sores, and then my car had been in the shop, so I know I put on the weight real quick because it'll take long when you lose weight that fast. Not too fast, but it take long for you to get it back. But 420 is pretty good. But you know, with women, it's gonna be harder. I remember this was the same season. Deanna was on the season when Deanna started. She was on an episode of Tough, it's the Ultimate Fighter, and that was the year when they did women's the start of the women's flyweight division, and they had one fighter by the name of Sajara Eubanks. Sajara had a weight issue. She had a fight that day before. She had to lose so much weight so she can, because I think she came in 2 or 3 pounds over the weight limit. She was sitting on a bike wearing a sauna suit, in a sauna on a stationary bike, trying to lose that weight, even going outside and running. And even one point, she even cut her hair, because even just a little bit ounce against the weight. And what some fighters would do is like when they get on the scale, they would get butt naked. Down there, they put a towel around you. I think they do in boxing too. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, they put a towel around you and just to weigh you, and just say, hey, we'll just take off a few pieces of clothes, so that might make the difference. Most of the time, you're just wearing a pair of underwear, and that's about it. When you go to weigh, it's half the time. But they feel like that underwear can make the difference in ounces or two. So
Yeah,
because
they do the same thing. And you remember Sean, Sean Porter?
yeah,
The
Sean Porter, yeah.
his dad cut off his he had some cornrows. He cut off the ends of his cornrows to help him make weight.
Okay, Diddy.
Yeah, Kate did
You
it.
remember talking about Kid Diddy? He always came where the coach talking about he wears the Kangos.
Kate did it.
Yeah, K Diddy. Yeah, I mean, it's that because I think yeah, it's common because people always say like, okay, the cut my hair. Remember they did that to a wrestler, a black wrestler, a few years ago, and the referee told him to cut his hair because he had some kind of thing. He had a bandana or something. They cut off his head.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I think the guy got suspended, and I think they sued him. But
I remember
that's
that
been
was
about that's been 2 years ago. But
mhm.
like I said, with MMA, you have to when you do the fights, especially in MMA, you have to come in for title fights. They don't give you a weight allowance. With
Right.
the 3 round fights, they give you at least a pound and a half allowance. But here's the thing: is I talked about this before. With women, because women have a different BMI than men. You store more, especially you can lose weight, but then your body will store a lot of weight sometimes. I've known this when sometimes when I was losing weight back in the day, when I was trying to lose weight years ago, I know I lost some weight and then boom, I get it back fast because it'll take long because your body what it does it will store amount of fat in it just in case like when you're in a situation where your body is struggling, when you feel like you're at a point of failure, it would boom just let go of that extra weight just to help your body to recuperate and survive. It's like a camel, how a camel carries water. That happens sometimes, I think, more with women than they do with men because women, as you know, are supposed to be nurturers. They're supposed to carry it. Men, we can carry it too. But women, as you know, your bodies are created for nurturing because as you know, you can lactate, you can give birth, and like that. And I think what had happened was even with Deanna she was on her diet, following the rules, whatever else, she might have just I don't know. It could have been her body might have been solid, say, you know what, you're going
It
through
could
something.
have been mass. It could have been anything. Like sometimes with me, I won't even be eating bad or anything, and look, 3 pounds just pop up out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what's going on? I'm eating right. I'm doing everything right, and here come 3 pounds out of nowhere. So it is. Women do have not a
Hmm.
problem, an issue, but we do have different chemical uh, imbalances. We so, something's up with us. And even like with me, I don't even like I can't have children. I've had a hysterectomy, but I still have those issues, those weight issues. Just pounds out of nowhere. And I like I said, I eat right. I do what I'm supposed to do. I exercise, and the weight will just pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it happens. Can't, it's just how it is. I said again, even though men and women were the same race, we're both humans, with the excuse me, with the different species. and
Yeah.
and it's about how your body affects. Now I'm put up some pictures from it's this is a title fight. The main event is Carmouche versus Bennett. I'm
Mhm.
gonna put up in a second, and and I just want to see, and if you don't know who they are, you have Liz Carmouche. She's on. If you look at, she's on your left, my right, my left, your right, depending where you're looking at,
Mhm.
and you have Deanna Bennett on the right, your left, depending on where you're looking at it. Now, Deanna is, she, both Liz and Deanna used to with UFC. Liz fought for the title years ago against Valentina. She fought Valentina. She's the only person outside of Lexa Grasso, Amanda Nunes, who has the win over Valentina. But the win over Valentina was because of a doctor stoppage. And she fought for the title for 125, but got beaten by Valentina. She left. She was cut loose from UFC almost a couple years ago. She she has retained the title because she beat the former champion Juliana Velasquez about a year or two or so ago, and then she retained the title by defeating her again. And she fought Deanna about a couple years back before she got a shot at the title, and she beat Deanna by doctor stoppage because I think Deanna was bleeding very bad. Deanna went on her, I think, almost a 2 to 3 fight winning streak after that loss, and now she's the next contender for this title. But now, because she missed the weight, she's not going to get the title because the fact is they're not going to, as I said again, they do not give you allowance for weight for a title fight. So, and it said again, the title is up for grabs, and because if Liz loses, the title is vacated.
Right.
So no one else has had the title. Now, also, if anybody who falls on this card also is another women's fight, and and it's the return of Arlene Engel Fitzblanco, who has fought for the women's 45 title twice against Chris Cyborg. The first fight she got, I think she got submitted. I think she got submitted, I believe. And the
Mhm.
second fight, her and Chris went the distance, but she lost by decision. And
Okay.
this is the debut of one of my favorite fighters. I call that's Sarah McMahon. She used to be UFC. She fought for the title for 135 years ago against Ronda Rousey. She left because she supposed to have fought a fighter by the name of Aspen Ladd. Aspen Ladd didn't make weight for a fight. That was last year, and then she hadn't fight for almost, I think, a year before that when she fought a fighter by the name of Carol Rosa. And then she said she couldn't wait and sit around for another fight, so she decided to enter a contract with the UFC. And this is one thing about this. This is a battle of two moms. Is anything about Arlene? She's a mother. She has a couple of kids. She's from Australia.
Mhm.
She used to be a boxer, but she started getting into MMA a few years ago. She trains out of, oh my God, the Jackson Wink camp. The evil Jackson Wink camp. Oh, where John Jones trained with. Holly Holmes is still there. I mean, I don't know why Holly Holmes is still there. She hadn't really evolved since, but she's getting a little bit. And with Sarah, she's one of the top wrestlers. She was a silver medalist back in, I think it was 2008, I believe, or 2006. What was it? It was 2006 or 2008. Trying to remember. You know, but I call her Sarah Muscle Man because she has a great physique. I mean, you really see, even you can see good ab development. Especially for a guy who's a bodybuilding fan, she could probably compete as a figure competitor if she wants. Good development. Maybe she has a good amount of muscle. She's a good wrestler, but Arlene is a better stand-up fighter, and this might be a tough fight for
Okay.
Sarah because this will be her debut at 145 because she's fought at 135 in the UFC for the past 10 years.
Hmm. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, yeah, she's one of I would say one of the matriarchs of the 135 division at UFC. As you know, UFC 135 has fallen off the last few years, especially with the champ, the double champ I call Man of the Lion Ass Queen Nunez. She's supposed to be fighting again for a third time, Juliana Pena. This
Mhm.
coming, I think in June. I think yeah, it's going to be in June 10th in Vancouver. I talk about Vancouver. Vancouver has a bodybuilding show coming up tomorrow. A couple of ladies I'm friends with are competing at that show. I wish them best of luck. I'm going to talk about me and my partner going to do a live stream later this afternoon. We're going to talk about this because we're going to do a special. And and to me, this is a good, it's a good lineup. You have at least two women fighters on the main card. I think they put out prelims. I could check it out. But
Okay.
yeah, because the prelims come on and
The first fight, or are you doing the like your play-by-play, or
no, I probably just watch the prelims because the main show was gonna be on Showtime. I don't have Showtime anymore.
yeah,
I used to have cable. I just have the live stream. I just have my Wi-Fi, you know. But
yeah,
yeah, because it's.
either.
Hmm?
I don't do cable anymore either.
Yeah, I used to watch like when my mom used to sit and watch Chopped, and my mom says she say you ready to go to sleep? Said nah, you ready to go to sleep? Nah, I'm ready to go to sleep. I put her to bed because she couldn't walk, so we used to watch. I used to watch Chopped a good bit, and Dr. Pimple Popper. Most of the time I watch her on YouTube more or less. You know, look, she must be in the middle of something, so she'll get back to us. But yeah, this is gonna be like the big question is if Liz Carmouche wins this fight, who's next? There's a couple of fights coming up tomorrow with Bellator, and let me see, go back here real quick. It's a couple of fights coming up. If you look on the,
Can you look in the private chat?
hmm?
Can you look in the private chat on the StreamYard?
Let me see. Yeah, I can. Yeah, there's nothing in the private chat right now. You can look at the private chat. You got
No,
yeah,
can you look in there?
yeah, I
Can
can. Yeah, you see, so I have. Okay, just if you want to, you want me, I can give you my email.
okay.
Okay, here you go. And and I can use it. I can do.
You know,
Cool.
it is
You're looking out, sis.
you know, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wait a minute. Let me use this one because I got so many ones I forget from. Give me a moment. I'll send to you a minute because I gotta remember. But we'll get back to it later. But
Okay.
you know, I think like this. Like I said, I'm a big fan of both these ladies, of both Sarah McMahon and of Liz Carmouche. Like I said, they have great physiques. I obviously they have, as you know, as you know, if everybody saw my interview a while back, other day with female Bachelor, I almost a person smoke. And I just have a fan of women who have, I like I said, still as a man, I like my women soft, nice physiques too. But also I married women who have great muscular development. And both Sarah and Liz have that. So I'm
Yeah,
both of them.
I like my men like Eddie Kane.
Oh God. See, look, look, look.
Oh,
Can't
no,
hang with any clean. Just
uh,
like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. My sisters, they like the JD.
JD. Everybody loves JD.
Now, my little nephew like dancer because he like to dance, but
Yeah.
but my sisters like JD. You're just like duh. I always pick on her that when you were back on the old channel talking about Eddie K, great actor. I forgot his name again. What's the actor's name again?
Huh?
What was the actor's name? Eddie Kane. I used to,
I know
he,
the other one is Leon. I know
yeah,
Leon.
he was Leon Me. He was a drug dealer. He was on no. He wasn't on Leon Me. He was on that movie with the one with John Belushi, and and God and Lou Gossett Jr.
He
Wasn't
did
Leon Me?
that movie too, I think.
Huh? What?
Didn't he do drugs in that movie?
Yeah, he's a drug dealer in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you thinking? I think who's that? I forgot who's the other. It was somebody, but that was Liam is a good movie, and also he was in that movie with Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker. He was also I think he was a guns guy, but he used to play a villain or something like that every now and then. He did a lot of stuff like that. Great actor. Okay. We'll probably put up his name later, something like that.
Well, who do
But
you like between those two ladies, the grappler or the striker?
I think it might be distracted, especially since Liz fought Cyborg twice. She fought for the title list 3 times in her career. At least about 4 times in her career. She fought against Julia Budd when they first fight for the title years ago, and she lost. Then she fought with Julia Budd again, lost. Then she fought Cyborg when Cyborg came in. She wasn't the first fight. Was it? It was when Cyborg fought Julia Budd and beat her for the title. Then she fought Arlene Blanco, and then she fought Cyborg again. So she fought two of the top women in the division.
How did she
Uh,
lose?
hmm,
Good
hmm.
knockout? How did she lose? You said it was a went all the way decision?
Well, the last one all the way decision. The first one it was in the second round submission.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Cyborg's first submission in a long time. Yeah, because usually knocks people out, beat him down. And, that fight between that fight between her and Cyborg, it was a pretty good fight. When the second fight, it went the distance. I remember one part where Arlene, this is when I said I capable. When Arlene told her come in the middle of the ring, put her finger that's pointing me in the ring. It was just, she's tough. Like I said, and she was, as you know, she has kids back in Australia. She was couldn't be her favorite girl because Australia had restrictions to come in the country because of the virus, and she got a nasty cut. I mean, now she's bouncing back. If she beats Sarah, I think this is like the one thing I don't know. They shouldn't have put Sarah against somebody who fought for the title at least 4 times. It should have put her against a nice rubber match. I know she fought for the title back in UFC. She's a top
right.
UFC level fighter, but this is the thing about Sarah. Sarah's 42 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it. She has 2 kids. She took some time off years ago when she had her son. And he's like about 3 years old now. And she came back. She fought against she fought a fight against more of my favorite fight, Marion Renault. She lost that fight. Then she posted a fight last year against a fighter by the name Aspen Lad, but Aspen Lad had a bad issue of making weight. And and I was kind of disappointed that she decided to step away from the UFC. I thought she was probably be a next chance for the 135 title, but she couldn't wait for any fights, and she decided that she wanted to move on. You know, but yeah, I hope she does good in this fight. I mean, like I said, they should have gave her maybe somebody who was like up and coming in 145. It's someone like Sneak Kavanaugh, or maybe I think of there's another fighter that's on there. There's a Noguera or somebody else instead of her, go up against Arlene Blanco. Yeah,
So this tonight, so this is tomorrow's.
this is tonight, but
Okay.
tomorrow, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. It's I'm gonna go here to the Bellator, uh, Facebook page. I said they should have it. They had the list, and I saw it. There's another fight, and it is for it's for 2 men. It's the fight for it's for Stotts versus Mix, and it's for the men's bantamweight title. It's after they had what Bellator do. Bellators have tournaments, and
Mhm.
this tournament is for the men's bantamweight title. Plus, also the winner gets the title and also gets $1 million. And I'm telling you, that's a good chunk of change if you think about it.
Oh,
Most, I know that's not a good chunk of change to boxing because guys who don't have a title, who are the lower end, will get that much money. But for MMA, is MMA, it doesn't. Even though they get a lot of big promotions and a lot of sponsorships and everything like um like boxing, it doesn't get the money. It's because like even like look at UFC. Is that that deal that was made between the WE and UFC with Endeavor. They said UFC has $12.3 billion,
mm,
and
yeah.
yeah, and they're paying the fighters. If maybe like the top fighters, like guys like John Jones and Lucky Charms, they might give maybe about 500,000. But
Oh,
yeah, so if you compare that to somebody like Tank, Ryan, Bud, Earl, or even the guys who don't have titles, that's still not nothing, is it?
well, it's not, but at the same time, and this might not even make a difference, but it seems like to me in the UFC, there's a lot more people fighting. It's a lot. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's a lot more pay-per-view worthy fighters. It's a lot better pay-per-view shows, and it's and it seems like it's a pay-per-view every 2 weeks. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I guess with the boxing, you have PBC, Showtime, you have ESPN, you have DAZN, you have all these different networks that do pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
I guess with MMA, I know you have Bellator and UFC and maybe I don't know if there's a Fight TV. There's a couple little smaller ones,
There's
but
there's LFA, which is a small organization. There's Invicta, which is the only women's organization, just strictly women. Just had a championship fight about a couple weeks ago, and we'll have one coming up in May. Um, there's also there's EFC in South Africa. Couple more others around here and there, but as you know, UFC and Bellator are the two biggest ones.
the biggest ones,
Yeah.
and when it comes to the Zone and Showtime and ESPN, I don't think one is bigger than the other.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, because remember HBO used to have boxing, but they dropped their boxing a long time ago.
that was probably one of the biggest mistakes they could have made.
Well, if guys like Jim Lampert wasn't racist and stupid, and guys like, older, you remember Floyd King, you ain't shit, Larry Merchant,
Oh, he said, if I was 20 years younger, I'd whoop your ass.
you get your ass worked for being 20 years younger. That is still, like I said, Floyd, he may not like Floyd, but the brother knew how to sell the fight. He had the skill set, everything like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's mouth. And the thing is, more people paid to watch that man lose than they did to see him win, and he made his money off of being the villain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Like Ric Flair,
Yes.
woo, the $1 Million Man.
I like Dusty Rhodes better back in the day.
I like Dusty Rhodes too. Love the $1 Million Dream. He come on there, he talk that loud talk and I just like, I may be fat, I may got a belly, but I love that man. I like one thing is I watch a lot. People post a lot of Macho Man vid stuff like a cup of coffee and cup of coffee and your cream of the crop. The what?
You do that pretty good.
Yeah, I used to watch Macho Man, yeah, and I used to like do some bannerism, yeah, brother, and like he snaps that Slim Jim, dig it, and I just love the Macho Man, even though he was a bad guy, he was just cool, he was just, rest in peace, Macho Man. A few months ago, his brother, Leaping Lean Popo, he passed away. Great family wrestling dynasty, him and his brother and their father who started it, Angelo, but yeah, with MMA, it's like an easier turnout. Like this is why I talk about this on bodybuilding. Now, there's just a show coming up, the first Free Embodiment show for this year. That is the Vancouver Island Pro. A couple ladies I've done interviews with. Some ladies have come friendly with are competing at this show. There's a division called bikini, and that division because it's a lot more accessible. I did interview a lady who's a bikini competitor, also a doctor. And she's a mom. She's 50 plus. A beautiful lady, Miss Dr. Christina. Like they call her last name. I'm not gonna say it, but it's called Dr. Christina. It's easy to turn that out because you can compete in a bikini show. Boom. 2 weeks later, do another bikini show. With women's bodybuilder, it's a lot harder because these ladies they're pretty much their bodies, their ability to level of muscle that's not typical of women to build, and it takes them a long time to get to that level. With the women in bikini, they train, they work out, and they even use steroids. This is something some friend told me about how even that division use steroids. I would say something like they might use something like a diuretic because they want to push out that fluid and come in and make the muscle a little smaller because it's a TNA division. There's also a division called wellness where it's focused more on the T. It's more of the A while bikini is the T. Because if you look at the bikini competitors, you rarely see anybody without 7 double Ds, and but it's an easier turnout for MMA. They do have to take time to come and wait and get ready, but like I said, they don't have as many divisions compared to boxing. You got to look at it. In boxing, you have at least WBO, IBA, IBO, WBC, IBF, I mean, boom, 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 boom. All these different titles, all these different weight classes. Where with UFC, you only have, especially for the man, you have the smaller end. You have fly, bantam, I think, welter, light, middle, light heavy, and heavyweight. With the women, you only have technically supposed to have four. That is straw, fly, bantam, and they're supposed to have a 145, but UFC does not have the best 145 division. They only have the one champ, and usually they just pull other divisions. They just usually pull from 145 other fighters from 135, and they just need to grow that division. Where Bellator only has two. That's feather and flyweight, 145 and 125. Now, yeah, and sometimes with the men's divisions in UFC, they'll have interim titles. There's like at least a bunch around. They have none in the women's division, but they have a bunch running around in the men's division. Now, that's the thing that they said again. Yes, they'll have a fight every 2 weeks. Compared to boxing, like maybe every 2 or 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, well, maybe a month and a half, maybe. Because again, you got the 3 huge platforms, so maybe once a month, maybe a month and a half.
Yeah, and also also another vision I forget the fact is PFL, and PFL that's also on ESPN.
Is that the Clarissa Shields one that she signed to?
Yeah, that's the one that Clarissa Shields fighting under because she fought was it last year when she lost her first fight in MMA. She needed more time to stew. She used too much of a stand-up. That's what she beat the last girl by just using her fist. She needed more time to work on her ground game, standards. With boxing and MMA fight striking is 2 different things. With boxing, you straight push and hit, but with MMA fighters, they have to be quick because they have to worry about the opponent throwing either an elbow, a knee, a leg. They have to be prepared for because with boxing you have one hand, two fists. With MMA, you have fists, elbows, forearms, knees. You can stomp opponents' feet. You can't strike them when they're down unless you're the down opponent. They can strike you. Like you can be on your back, you can kick up, but you can't strike a down opponent. They used to do it back in the day in the old UFC. I was watching an old clip where there was a guy who was like about 500 pounds fighting this other guy, and and that was back when it was kind of like almost like the Kumite. The Kumite, the Kumite. Yeah, but with the UFC, because they usually kicks out at least maybe 3 or 4 fights in a month. Now they will have a break every now and then. Have a break, and sometimes if they know they're fighting on when there's a big boxing card coming, like this one coming up, they usually try to push it early in the day, so they wouldn't have to. Because even though most people I wouldn't pay $90 to see this fight if I was still a boxing fan, but still, boxing is still big in America. It's always going to be sweet science, so they're gonna have to just go ahead and just push up a little bit. So we want to fight against Tank and Ryan for ratings and spot. But that's how it is sometimes.
And that would be the pay-per-view that would really be competitive, with MMA, because a lot of people are going to buy this fight. I don't think it's going to do $1 million or $500,000 like a lot of people are thinking, but I think it's definitely going to be 300 to 400,000 pay-per-view buys, which is a lot in boxing. And I don't necessarily think it's because of Tank. I think it's because of Ryan.
Yeah, because Ryan's. It's kind of like with how Jake Paul is.
Exactly, little teeny little 16, 17, 18-year-old girls in love with him and all that kind of thing. Yeah,
because he's pretty. Because he's so pretty. It's like remember the prettiest guy in boxing back then was a Sugar Ray Leonard, and don't forget Muhammad Ali. Those were the prettiest boxers back then.
They were the pretty boys.
But they knew how to fight.
They sure did.
They knew how to fight. Ryan, I don't know. The guy comes on. Like I said, we watch boxing members. I know Coach. He always puts me on stuff like that, and I listen to you and Ashley and the rest of you used to talk about it. I see the guy dancing, twerking on Oh, come on, man. I can't take you seriously as a boxer. I mean, I grew up in the good part of this. The same.
I think he's gonna win it all, but this is the thing. Well, I guess it's the same with UFC or MMA. It's like there's such unpredictable sports, and I've seen. I mean, when I look at the odds, it's not even as wide as I thought it was gonna be. But I mean, it just takes one punch. It takes one little mistake from either fighter that puts you on your butt. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely going to be watching it. The good thing about it, like I have DAZN, so I pay. Well, it was $99 a year, then it went up to $150 a year, and now it's $250 a year. I think it.
Ooh, I can't do that on my budget. I can't do that on my budget.
It's like if you have DAZN, instead of paying the $85 for the pay-per-view, you can buy it for $60. So it's some little perks with it. I mean, it is expensive, but I think DAZN right now, for me, I think DAZN is number one when it comes to boxing cards. And a lot of the free stuff on ESPN is really good too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I know Coach says that Zone him was it's too Eurocentric for him for his taste. I know. Bellator used to be on DAZN, but they eventually moved from the zone.
I remember when they were like that. I used to watch it on DAZN.
Yeah, because it used to be on Spike TV. Now it's Paramount Network, and then I don't know they when they left Spike because I think UFC was on Spike for a good while. Then they jumped over to Fox. Now they're on ESPN. With the Invicta, not Invicta. I mean, Bellator. They're with Showtime, but they do sometimes. I think they're supposed to have a fight on channel here where I live. We call it Channel 13, but it's CBS. It's CBS affiliate. And
okay, so that's like the prelims would be on there.
Well, the prelims going to be on YouTube.
Okay, good. Because I was just going on the app, on the Showtime app, and I was looking, and it says the Bellator starts at 10 p.m. But I didn't see any prelims, so I was thinking it was going to be on regular TV. But you're saying it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's going to be like now the fight will be on YouTube. The prelims will be on YouTube, and the main fight's going to be on Showtime.
Okay.
I would say like this. I'm gonna check it out and see how it's going. Appreciate the host, but I'm not gonna say any names. But this is gonna be a fight that can go either way. And we said about remember how years ago when Mike Tyson fought Buster Douglas, he was certain.
Exactly.
And it's about a month or so ago, one of my favorite fighters, Valentina Shevchenko, lost to Alexa Grasso. And I was like so many persons. I was certain that Alexa's gonna get beat up, but she was able to pull off a win. I'm still kind of salty about it, but hey, it is when you shouldn't have a favorite fighter say, but hey, when you have a favorite fighter, when they lose, you feel like hey, you lose, but you shouldn't take very so much into it. But this, like I said, I like Deanna Bennett. She is I remember she, like I said again, she started out and she fight for a long time. Great story about her. Her years ago, her father was a cop. He died from, I think he got sick and got cancer. He died. She has a great personality about her. She's a wild girl. I was kind of like when I heard about this when she couldn't make the weight. I was kind of what? I mean, and I'm gonna pull up. This is where she's doing a little interview. This is why I like Deanna. She is wild. I'm the type of guy. I like girls who have a great personality about themselves. Like you. I like you. You have a great personality.
Oh, you did too.
Yeah. This is Deanna. I'm gonna put she's like doing a little interview.
Be inappropriate with it. I'll keep it down here. Not put it so close to the face. I'm great. I'm just happy to see you guys. So,
man, you're in a good mood. You're like cracking maybe inappropriate jokes. I don't know. This is a great way to start things off.
I can't bring this down here. Then the tongue comes out, and then it just starts going down my throat, and then it's like that's not the content we came here for.
Oh my god! I'm not even sure how.
This is that. We're not off to a good start.
What the hell
guys.
just happened? I don't even think this is my fault. This stuff kind of usually is my fault, and I didn't do anything, just for the
I
record.
think it's my fault. I mean, my fight name's vitamin D for a reason. And it's not because of my cheery personality. As much as I like to tell people that's the case, it's really not. It's because I literally just 2 seconds up here, and I'm like, so I deep throat the microphone now, right? It's like, hi. I'll try not to be inappropriate with it. Down
I
here.
can say it again.
Not
This
put it
is
close
why
to
I
the
like
face.
her. She
I'm
is
great.
wild.
I'm
She
just happy to
is
see you guys.
Deanna is wild. I mean, you
My
know,
kind of gal.
yeah. Any girl who talks about choking and vitamin D and why she in X-rated talk is, you rarely can find women who talk like that and don't feel comfortable. You know, because some women kind of.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just you know, most women they like to be very prissy. You know, I don't mind you being prissy, but sometimes it's fun to have a little fun. You know, sometimes I remember this lady, we were really cool. She's a bodybuilder. One time we were talking about stuff. She likes to say when she's dating a boyfriend. She says I said she's really more of a tomboy. She used to like to watch porn with a boyfriend. We were talking about freaky stuff, and we just it was fun to talk something like that with a woman. Some women don't like to talk about that, except again, if you know about my past, I used to work at a strip club, and I used to, sometimes even those women didn't want to be too freaky because they know they have a job. They here, they're in the club, they are there to make money, and then outside they, want to be very, like any old woman. But when women like her, who has this great personality about her, I feel bad that she didn't make the weight. I mean, they could have, like I said, I think this is why I talked about this. It should put in, especially in like organizations like Bellator and UFC, should be a little special clause for women. I know they say, well, why not men? Well, okay, well, this is the way it puts it like this. Say before ordinary fight, give women at least a 2 to 3 pound allowance. They usually give you 1 pound allowance, but as I said again, women have a higher BMI than men.
And again, I know I said this before or mentioned this before. Like in boxing, they're like the day before weigh-in. If you're overweight, as long as you're not over 2 pounds overweight, they give you like 2 hours to get that pound off. So I was wondering, did she have any time to try to get it off, or she just was like, it was just too much? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It might have been, like I said, it had to come in 125. She came in a pound and a quarter over. I don't know. I know I got a friend coming up. I got a lady who's a friend. She used to fight in UFC. Her name is Sarah. Too Sweet Alpar. She has a fight coming up tomorrow. She's making her debut fight in Oklahoma. Great lady. I sent her a package for her because I do this every time I do an interview.
That's so awesome. I pray she does really good.
Yeah. She was in UFC. She had a couple of fights. She got cut because here's the reason why. Mostly reason why she got hurt. Years ago, Sarah had a GoFundMe, and somebody get a donation of like about $25,000 on a GoFundMe. Guess who's that somebody?
25,000?
Yes.
Who?
Jake Paul. Yeah. And because, as you know, Dana does not like Jake Paul.
So he didn't put anonymous. He put Jake Paul on there.
It was, because I don't know if with GoFundMe, yeah, you can do anonymous. I got a friend of mine. I sent him something in his GoFundMe because his house got burnt down a while back. His apartment got burnt down, and I sent something to his. I might send something straight to his Cash App because I know his Cash App. With GoFundMe, they take a percentage out. I told him you should at least go over more than $1,000 because with GoFundMe they're going to take a percentage out. You can get less than 1,000 that you asked for. Like I learned this from when you had to go from because I thought I was going to move out of my apartment I shared with my mom for the last 30 years, almost 30 years. So I only had $25,000 in my GoFundMe. Thanks to there's a lady by the name of Miss Dorian Kurt Silverman. She's a former bodybuilder, good friend of mine. She sent me that money. She sent me some money, and also another friend of mine sent me some money also. And when I took my money out, out of the GoFundMe, it was they only gave me like $23. It was over 20 something, they will give me 23 because they're gonna take a percentage. And that's why I tell anybody, you do GoFundMe, go over what you're gonna ask for, because you know what, GoFundMe is a business. They even charge you when you donate, they charge you when you donate to GoFundMe. It's like how much it's gonna be a percentage of how much you send them. So you send somebody like $10 is gonna be like about $11 or $12. So if you ever do a GoFundMe, always go over the limit you're asking for because because they're gonna take a percentage of how much is what you're putting in. I just want maybe about a few $100s, and I went over a little just in case, just because I learned that from somebody who told me. But yeah, and also it's just that she had a couple of fights. She lost her first fight and lost the second fight. Her first fight was an up and coming fighter. Another fight was against a veteran fighter. She should have gotten a good, rubber match to warm her up, see how she fits. She was fighting at 125, and then after those, no more after those two losses, she got cut. There's fighters who had their first two losses, or even were on a losing streak, who just saw that while back fighter by the name Cynthia Calvillo, after going on a 5-fight losing streak, just got cut from the UFC.
Dang.
She was suspended for a while because she got busted for having marijuana, but yeah, she was suspended for about a year or so. But she came back, went to 125, won some fights here, lost some fights where, but then for a good while she was on a fight streak. Holly Holm, is a former boxer who went up to UFC, beat Ronda Rousey. She was practically on a 4-fight losing streak, and because she lost the title to Misha Tate, then she lost to Valentina Shevchenko. She was fighting for the title for 145 against Jareen Ranami. She lost that, and I think she won another fight after that. But she was pretty much on a 3-fight losing streak, but it didn't cut her because she's blonde, she's white, she fits what the mentality what they want. With Cynthia wasn't that pretty of a chick, but she was kind of popular. But eventually, because she was on this losing streak, they had to cut her. Now, Sarah, who is my friend, I call her my friend because she's a great lady. She's a teacher in Oklahoma. She started teaching and working in the schools because she was waiting for her to make money. Because as a woman fighter, you're not gonna get too much money. Because I remember I did an interview with a couple years back with Frida Cheetah Gibbs, the legend herself, and she told me how it was difficult. She told me the story how Ann Wolfe, she fought for a fight for $1.
Yeah.
I think you heard of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for $1. And women boxing is just it's going to be a good upcoming month for this summer for women's boxing. Originally supposed to have Katie Taylor versus Serrano, but Serrano has an injury, so she steps out, and now it's Gerda and Cameron. They're fighting in Ireland in their backyard. Then you have Shields versus Gabriel 2. And then it just saw that you have Marshall versus Cruz coming up in June. Also, both of those fights coming up in June. So this is, I think, 3 big fights for women's boxing.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it's just. So So for UFC or for either one of them, how far out of y'all schedule are the schedules made? Would you say?
Well, they have a prelim before the prelims.
No. You talk about the schedule, like the schedule for the next month, or did they do 2 months out? How
Dana, I don't know. How Dana does it, he'll go ahead and start setting the fights maybe a month or so in advance. For you got to you probably scout where they're gonna have the fight at. Remember a few years ago when we had the pandemic hit, they were doing a lot of fights out of Vegas with no audience, and they're doing that now more because it saves them some money. He'll every so often this fight coming up this weekend is gonna be, and I think it's in Kansas City. The next fight coming up, I don't know if they're gonna have a fight coming up. I think they're gonna have a break next month. They just had 2 pay-per-views back to back, I think. This month, I think they had UFC. That's one with I'm not a fan of him anymore because what he did about calling Joe Rogan's N-word, and that's just something, he's African, he's not a real black person. That's Israel Adesanya. I don't call him Izzy anymore. I call him Israel by his name. If I was friends with you, I call you by your nickname, but I don't. And just had, I think, just after that, had Usman versus Rocky Leon Edwards, and Usually usually they have the big pay-per-view the first of the month, and then you have the small shows. They have the shows. They have the shows for on like ESPN, ESPN Plus, or sometimes they have ABC because ESPN is owned by Disney, and they also own ABC.
Right.
So they don't usually, he'll probably set the fighters maybe the fights a month in advance. He'll already give the fighters out the contracts and let them know when they're supposed to fight. We already know that the fight between Nunez and Pena's coming up in June. So they're already getting their training camps. They got at least I would say 2 months for a training camp because they've started training camp now. Where am I say? You might say started training camp now in the end of
Is that fight in Vegas?
No, it's in Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver.
They're going to Canada. Haven't been Canada in a long time, so this is because when the virus hit, the Canada shut down everything.
Right.
They just lifted their their C-19 restrictions last year. I know a lady who was a bodybuilder who used to be real cool. We talked a bit. She competed at one show in Vancouver. She was the only bodybuilder there. She won her Olympic qualification last year. Eva Montgomery. They had shows also in Toronto. For a while, they had nobody been shows for like at least about a year or so ago. We got to remember, you get in Canada, you had to do 3 weeks in quarantine and 3 weeks in, 3 weeks out.
Goodness.
Was it 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out? I think it was one of them. And I know one lady, she's a bodybuilder. She competed in the show in Vancouver. She has 2 kids. She told me how she says she really missed her kids because she has to sit in a hotel for about 2 weeks before she get back into Canada. It was tough, but she understand what she had to do because get back in your own country. And now with the restrictions lifted, I think UFC is going to do their first Canadian show they hadn't done in almost 3 years.
Wow.
And that's coming in June. And they have some more events. Let me see. Let me pull up where here because I was over here.
I get to see something in June. I'll be in Vegas in June, and I want to see something, either boxing or some type of MMA.
Well, let me see. Let me see what UFC has coming up in June. They usually, best place is probably, see, UFC. Let me go on here. I'm on there. I'm gonna jump out here on their IG. Let's see. Let's see.
I don't have Instagram or anything. I only have YouTube now.
I'm on. Like I say, me being a content maker, I have to be on social media. I even have TikTok.
You know what? I might have to get my social media back now that I'm back on the YouTube thing. So maybe
Yeah. It's not that hard. You just build it up. Like I said, I even have a TikTok. If you go to my channel on here on YouTube, you see in my top in the what's the face that I have 2 Facebook, my main Facebook channel.
Mm-hmm.
My Facebook, which is called the Lions Den Female Bodybuilding Community, which I asked Coach Mitchell, can I use the Lions Den for female? He said, cool, yeah, appreciate it. And I'm on Twitter, I'm on IG, because I get a new IG account. My old gun got hacked last year. I got
hacked twice, and I just forget it.
I know, but you know what? With me, I want to keep contact with some of the ladies I become friends with, and stuff like that. It's especially since I'm a ton of content maker. You need social media. You most definitely need it.
Absolutely.
And also I'm on here on YouTube where I'm on here a lot more because I got always working on videos, making stuff. I just finished up. I got to post one of my comparison videos that just finished. I got to post that in a bit. I'm gonna have to finish with this. But let's see. Usually Dana puts up the schedule. Here he is, Dana, wife beater, as I call him. I'm going to pull him up in a bit. I'm not a fan of the man. I mean,
what's up, everybody? It's Fight Week again, live this Saturday night from the 8th here in Las Vegas. The main event, Pavlovich versus Blades, number 3 versus number 4 in the heavyweight division. Very important fight for that division. Couple of things I want to point out before we get started. The prelim start at 4 o'clock on the East Coast. The main card starts at 7 o'clock on the East Coast. The entire card is on ESPN Plus. A couple of fights you might not know about. Muhammad Usman versus Junior Tafa. After winning the heavyweight season of Tafa, Mo finally makes his UFC debut. Muhammad won the season with a devastating knockout of Zach Ponga. Mo is built like a tank and has tremendous power with 4 of his wins coming by knockout. But he is facing former Glory kickboxer Junior Tapa. Junior has an excellent kickboxing pedigree and is another guy with incredible power. He is undefeated 4-0, and all of Junior's wins have come by knockout, with 3 of those coming in the very first round. This is a battle between 2 very violent dudes. Do not blink and do not miss this fight. Another fight you might not know about. Jeremiah Wells versus Matt Semelsberger. Semelsberger is coming off a dominating win over longtime vet Jake Matthews. He's got a lot of power everywhere, whether he's throwing his hands standing, ground and pound, kicking, or in the wrestling department. Wells is 3-0 in the octagon, and he's looking for his 6th straight win. His last 5 have all ended via stoppage. The most recent was the performance of the night. Semelsberger is more technical standing. Wells is more technical on the ground. Both powerful guys, and if this turns into a brawl, it's anybody's fight. 2 unbelievable if you don't knows, but ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know. What's up, everybody?
Forget you, you bald head. Let's loop.
Oh, so prelims come on in about an hour. You said 4 o'clock?
That's Saturday.
Oh, okay. So this one don't have. Oh, that's UFC.
Yeah, UFC. They have their prelims. They're gonna have. They're probably the main fight's probably gonna be like about 4 o'clock. I think the main fight probably be about maybe about this is just one of their small UFC events. Okay. It's not one of the big pay-per-views. It's one of the small UFC events. It's just one of the ones they do every so week, and it's gonna be probably the main event's probably like maybe at 8 o'clock, maybe.
Good.
Yeah. So because they're gonna have to probably fight against Tank and Ryan that Saturday, and as the Usman guy he talked about, that's Kamaru Usman's brother.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was looking at him like he looked like I was thinking I think that's his little big brother. I'm trying to remember. I think Kamar's the oldest and he's the youngest, I believe. It's one of the two. I can't remember. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Usman, especially after he did the same thing by validating Joe Rogan in his inward rants. So I don't have respect for Usman either. They're not real black people; they're Africans. So that's the big difference between black and African. Yeah. But as he said that one of the guys got a Friday night bonus. Friday night bonus UFC is $50,000. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But it goes back to the original UFC when the Gracie family had it. And used to have UFC so often. Royce Gracie always won it. He got $50K. That was the prize money back in like about 91, 92. And back then, $50,000 was a good chunk of change. I've seen some fighters. There was a fighter by the name of Cheyenne Velasquez. She used to be saying bias, but she divorced her husband. Now she's on the Velasquez. She cried because the fact was, as as a fighter, most fighters they don't really have too many jobs. The job is to fight. Yeah. So that money comes in handy because you get $10,000 a show just to come in for the weigh-ins, and $10,000, especially on the lower end, $10,000 for the fight. That's $20,000. After you pay your trainers, you camp, this and that, you might be lucky to walk away with maybe $15,000. Maybe I would say not less than $15,000.
Yeah, maybe 10.
Yeah, taxes and everything else too. So you got to think about it. That's $50,000 of cash money you put in your pocket, but you still have to pay your taxes. You got to Wesley Snipes, the guy after my man, Ronald Isaac, hey, Willie Nelson, hey, people got Red Fox. He died because he had to pay his taxes. But you got to pay your taxes, folks. You got to pay your taxes. The tax man, he has no mercy. You don't care about who you are. He comes after you anytime he wants.
I said, oh yeah, he'll come after you.
He come after you. I remember I had a student loan left over. It was like maybe about $1,500, and and I got when I did my taxes, they took a good chunk of it. I was like, what's wrong with this thing? Well, Mr. McCarthy, you had a student loan. So damn. I had one a few years ago. What I do is refer one, but now since I think we're now with the president trying to push that, yeah, I think and then due to the pandemic, mine was suspended. So I guess I'm still the lucky one. I just do a deferment, and I don't have to pay it because my sister and my nephew told me that all I gotta do is put in my that I'm disability, and then they'll cancel it. But I think they hadn't sent me a letter in a long time, so they probably just if I probably found my look at my social security number, they probably canceled it because I'm on disability because they go by your social security number, so they probably saw that I'm on disability, so they probably canceled it. So
Yeah.
yeah, no point. I can't pay when I don't make enough to pay anything. I mean, after I just got my car fixed about a couple weeks ago, that wiped me out, and that last month, and then I got to get some work done on it. So I said, I try to do it next month because I live on disability. By the time you get a little money and then pay this, pay that, you're about broke already. But I know I had someone say, hey, watch pay per view for this upcoming bodybuilding show. I can't watch it because that's going to cut into my budget. What I got left. So I got a friend of mine. We're going to do a live stream up, about a couple hours. We'll talk about it. I'm going to get him a code so he can use, and also man, want to check out a show they can use. But I do, like I said, mixed martial arts is tough. It is tough. I'm saying boxing not tough. It's tough too. All the sports are tough. I wouldn't do it. I mean, one thing gets me sometimes at the end of the fights, I see these people hugging. I don't what, hug you. What? We all this time straight. No, I'm not hugging you. I shake. I'll give you a pound. I'm not shaking your hand. We're not friends. But hugging? Hell no. I see some of these fighters, especially both men and women, get up and after going like that, hug each other. I know. Maybe I'm just me. I'm like the old Josie Well. I live for the grudge. I'm not hugging you. I'll show you respect, but I'm not hugging you. You ain't my king. You ain't my friend. You're not my friend. I'm not hugging you. You're somebody getting me winning, making money.
I give you a fist bump.
Yeah, I give you a fist bump. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I'm not picking you up off the mat and no, I'm not gonna be too much of a good sport. I'm here to fight. Yeah. Similar time, Mike knocked that guy out, and he picked and helped him up.
Yeah, he sure did. I mean, but I get it though. I mean, if you have a heart like mine, if I knock someone out, I probably pick them up too.
Me, nah, I'm not you. I'm not hugging you. I'm not.
At that point, I'm the type of person where, I mean, if I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna like if I was a fighter, I can see myself fighting. But once the fight is over, it's over. But if they're not hurt at the end of the fight, and I'm not hurt at the end of the fight, like you said, I'll give you a fist bump. But if the person's out cold, I would feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Well, like Bobby, remember he was crying because he knocked that guy out.
Yeah.
He was crying with real tears.
Yeah, Mike. Like I said, I like Mike. He is one of my favorite fighters. I mean, a while back I did a video where, Stephen A. Slipback, Stephen A. Smith, what I'm talking about, and DC Daniel Cormier were doing a commentary. We're talking about the top fighters in history, and then he had a list. And if you go find just go to the video on my channel. I've talked about this. The list. It was top 5. And number 5 on the list was Muhammad Ali. I'm like, wow, now you have Muhammad Ali. He had at least, I know DC is an MMA fighter. He had people like Manny Nunes and a couple other fighters on the list. I said, you know what? Those fighters wouldn't be in the top 5 of any fight list. They would be like the bottom 500.
Wow.
Even Floyd was on the list, but I wouldn't put Floyd on the top 5. I said Tyson, Ali. I'm going to say Joe Louis. I'm going to say Sugar Ray Robinson.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say Sugar Ray Leonard. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Rocky Marciano? No. He fought soup cans.
He dug a lot of people.
Yeah, because people talk about remember the scene from Coming to America. Yeah, he beat Joe Louis's ass, but Joe Louis was like 150 years old.
155 years old. Exactly.
Yeah. He dodged. See, he didn't fight St. Liston because St. Liston was a mob fighter, and Mark Juan was Italian. The Italian guys didn't want their Italian boy fight their paid man. So No, so that's why he fought Sonny Liston. I think he did fought Floyd Patterson, didn't he?
Yeah.
He beat Floyd. I think he fought Archie Moore.
Yeah, he beat up Archie. But Archie Moore was old too.
So he beat up mostly old fighters, suit cans, and yeah.
Archie Moore actually knocked him down in that fight, but then he came back and then he put a beating on Archie Moore. Good.
Oh yeah. I know, but like I said, by the time I think Sonny Liston was around, but he didn't fight Sonny Liston because we all know Sonny Liston was the mob fighter, and the mob did not want their boy to beat their Italian boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I fight there. So yeah, because they knew if Sonny Liston fought Rocky Marcial, he would have killed him.
Yeah, he would hurt him bad.
He would have hurt him.
His hands were bigger than my head. Sonny Liston has some big old hands.
Yeah, I heard that. One thing about also, the story that he was also afraid of needles, and that's why they say how did he die from taking heroin, but he never used needles.
Exactly. That's one of them stories. We'll never have the answer to ever.
It's like where's Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah, that's the thing that there's a lot of whoever knew that are all dead probably. If they didn't kill them, they probably died of natural causes if they're lucky.
Yeah.
But like I said, this fight's coming up, and I'm going to check it out. Because like I said, I'm a fan of both Deanna. I'm a fan of both of these of Deanna. Venom D. I'm a fan of hers. I'm a fan of Liz Carmouche. I'm a fan of Arlene Blanco. Especially the last fight with her at Cyborg. I'm a fan of Sarah McMahon, as I call her nickname, Sarah Muscle McMahon. She don't have a nickname, so I call Sarah Muscles McMahon. It's a great opportunity for women to get the opportunity to fight because some fights they have every now and then. Bellator will have, as I call them, sausage fest. They'll have no women's on the card. UFC will have them also, because it's just not as many women in the sport as it should be. Some women they don't recruit because they either don't look what they want to see, like highly attractive, or they're certain this or that. There's not that many women, black women in mixed martial arts. And there was Mary Monroe, she retired. There's Tanisha Tennant, former Invicta 135 champion. There's a few others here and there. I wish there'd be more sisters. I think most black women don't want to be fighting, getting in the head. So, well, you got Clarissa Shields, but I think she needs.
Wait! I forgot to ask you this when we talked about her. What do you think about Clarissa Shields in the rematch with Hannah?
I can go
because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be completely honest. Hannah Gabriels beat her in that first fight. She also knocked Clarissa on her ass.
Yeah, she did. And it's too long for this rematch. You should have had it maybe.
That's what I put on. I forgot where it was. It was someone's. It was one of those YouTube pages that whoever's doing the fight or whatever. And I put 4 years, 4 or 5 years too long. Hannah is 40-something years old.
Yeah, but Hannah has a great physique. She has good muscle definition, but muscle's not enough.
Oh, she is darling too. She is such a sweetheart. Oh.
Yeah, Coach did an interview with her a while back. She's a mom herself. She's a very attractive woman because I think she's from Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Very attractive. Very, I think if she was a MMA fighter, she probably would do pretty good. She has that great look to her, being attractive, being colored woman. I think as the advantage is going to go too much to Clarissa because she's still young. Clarissa's not even 30 yet.
Yeah.
So
she also made a comment last year that when she's next year that she wanted to have a baby. So I don't know how long.
Oh, because I think her boyfriend is her that's got engaged.
Finally.
Yeah, I think he.
Or have they been engaged, or they just recently got engaged?
I think they recently got engaged. I think she posted it on her because I follow Clarissa on Facebook, and also and she posted it, and I gave it a ring. Right now, Serena Williams got pregnant, and Serena, her and Clarissa, they're thick as a motherfucker. That's the only reason why I watch tennis, because of Serena. This is all right. She's a little long, tall for my taste, but Serena, she's she's wearing those little tight little suits, and she's wearing like dang, she's like power top and power on the bottom. So
she got booty for days, baby.
Yeah, she got I remember she wore that black Puma suit. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, that brothers
My
will watch it.
mama, back in the day, because my
Mhm.
mama, she's a pretty thick girl. She had a bigger booty. My dad used to say, and I don't know where this came from. I don't know if it was a song or it was a show. He said, that must be jelly, because jam don't shake like that.
I think a rapper made a song. I think it was either Pastor, not Pastor Troy, is Project Pat or somebody, something like that. Yeah, because hey, it's
But it
just
had to come from somewhere before then, because my dad used to say that when I was a kid.
yeah.
I want to know. I want to ask where it came from.
It's probably one of the old blues or R&B, old blues songs. So
That's what it sounds like. It
yeah,
sounds
it's probably it. But like I said, it's just Carissa is like I said, like, I think because she's still young. It's one thing as like as a woman. Like I just saw a guy. His name is W. Addict. He does a lot of commentary about mixed martial arts, and he did one about we talk about a fighter named Carla Esparza. Carla Esparza was the strawweight champion. She was the second woman to hold the title. No, actually, she's the second woman to hold the title 2 times in the UFC. The first one was Rose Namajunas. The third one now is Wally Zhang. She is having a baby with her husband. She got married about last year, and she got married right before she won the title. Or was it no after she won the title? I think she got married after she won the title. She beat Rose Namajunas in the most sorriest fight in that division ever in my life. I like Rose. I love Thug Rose, but that was she could have beat Carla Esparza. She didn't put. I think Carla Esparza has been in her head ever since she beat her years ago for the title when Carla was the first champion. She lost the title to Joanna Bojacek. Joanna Jacek is her name. When Joanna just beat the living breaks off of Carla, and then Rose beats Joanna twice back to back. Then she loses the title to Jessica Andrade because Jessica Andrade dropped in the head because she was beating Jessica Andrade. Jessica gets knocked out by Wally Zhang. Wally Zhang beats up Joanne. Well, she busts. Well, she it was a close fight, but Joanne looked like that alien. You remember that guy, the basketball player Tyrone Biggins? He looked like an alien. He had a big old head. Say like there will be others. Not Tyrone Biggins. No, Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell.
Yeah.
Sam Cassell and Tyrone Biggins. Those are rough-looking brothers. They're like the great aliens you see on National Choir. Say there will be others, and Joanna had a huge hematoma. One of the her head looked like it took a while for that sucker to swell down.
I remember that.
Yeah. So Jan loses the fight to Zhang. Then Rose comes back. She beats Jessica Andrade in a regular fight. Then gets a title shot. She beats Zhang. Then turns around and beats Zhang again. Then she loses to Carla Esparza. Carla gets beat up by Zhang, and now she's pregnant.
Damn.
What's a good thing? She's married to a doctor.
Ooh.
Yes, she's married to a doctor. And another fighter who I'm a big fan of is Tisha Torres. Her wife, they used to call her. They call her Rocky Pennington, but I don't call her Rocky because when the time she fought against Amanda Nunes, she quit on the stool since he wanted to be done. So the thing when you hear the Rocky, I don't associate Rocky to watch my channel. I associate Rocky to Rocky Balboa. That's my Rocky. Hey yo, Adrian, I'm a fighter, Adrian. That's where I am. Yeah, that's my Rocky. When you remember Rocky Balboa, we tell his son, it don't matter how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. I love that. I love that. I love the Rocky movies. The Creed movies, I didn't really like them that much, especially now I don't have Rocky in it anymore. Just not really. Because of
that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is, I think it should have had Michael B. Jordan playing the son of Apollo Creed. He should have been the grandson of Apollo Creed. It made a lot more sense. He's not that. Yeah, because when Apollo. We say
the age is all off. They messed that up.
Because you think about it like this: when Apollo died, especially in the movie, he was like in his 40s. Michael wasn't even born yet when Apollo died. It would have made more sense if he was one of Apollo's sons than his son. It just don't fit the timeline. Because Michael Borton was born in 1987. Apollo died about 83, 84.
Yeah.
So that's a stretch.
That was 93, right?
That was Rocky 3 when Apollo died. No,
Yeah.
four. Because Ivan Draco beat him.
Yes, it was 40. Yep.
Yeah. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
Dies. Yeah. But it don't. To me, I think it would have been better if he was the grandson of Apollo Creed than the son. It makes more sense with the timeline. Because by then I think Apollo he had his two sons. So they were probably in the first Rocky movie. They were little boys. My guess, maybe about 8 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the third Rocky movie, I would say about teenagers. So maybe they had one of the sons got, because I think what's the face used to play on The Wire as Barksdale. He played one of his sons in the first Creed movies.
Mm-hmm.
He could have the story could be like this, that he could have been his father and say your grandfather was a yeah. And he wanted to really follow his grandfather's footsteps. That would have made more sense,
Right.
than having him playing the son of Apollo Creed. To me, that was
because it just seems off.
especially if you know that Carl Weathers, he's almost 80.
80 years old. Yeah.
I think he's like 78 now. He's only about 3-4 years older than Stallone. And it wouldn't make no sense, especially Michael was just like about in his mid-30s. And I think what's the face Woodbine, he's in his 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say like he had a boy in his teens, and that would make more sense than try to push this 37-year-old kid being a man whose father should be in his 80s, who died in his 40s when the boy wasn't even born yet.
Right.
It's just I don't know. It's just straight. I like Michael B. Jordan. I think I like him. It's good when they brought him back as Killmonger. I didn't really watch the whole Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie. Let's talk about the guy who played in the Rocky Creed with him. He's in trouble right now.
I saw that.
Yeah. He just and he's supposed to lose his job as Kane. They say he's supposed to play some with the guy who played what's the face on Snowfalls. He should have played. That guy should play T'Challa.
Yeah.
I think damn some interest. He should play T'Challa. I could see him T'Challa. I've talked about before that. I think he would have been. They're talking about maybe Denzel's son, but Denzel's son's too short. He's only 5'9".
Oh, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, David Washington. Yeah, he's too short. Dimson would be better because he good complexion. He's British. He can probably fake that African accent real good because he played an American guy, but he's British. He can probably fake the accent. I think that would have been better. I mean, than just they could have had like one of those end credit scenes in the MCU movies where they say it's good to be home, and have because they're supposed to bring the X-Men into the MCU, and the storylines that if you follow the comics, T'Challa and Storm had a relationship, and he has a son named T'Challa, but I think I don't know that they could have just had to replace it. I don't know why they won't say we didn't want to replace him, but Chadwick said that the character was more than just about the actor,
Mm-hmm.
And I love Chadwick Boseman. If you ever watch my interviews, I have a shirt. I have 2 Black Panther shirts. I have one with the Black Panther symbol, like the white, just a symbol of the helmet. I have one of Chadwick doing the Wakanda salute and saying Wakanda forever. He has like the face of his face and the face of the Black Panther mask. And I love that. But it's just like I say. How these people they in Hollywood, they don't follow what the fans want. They follow, but in the comics, Shuri was the Black Panther for a time. That's true about that. The movie could have done a little better, but they killed off Angela Bassett. Didn't give her an Oscar. It's just
Look, and she knew she was supposed to get that Oscar too. So when they read
the movie, who gave it to?
Then when they read the other person's name, she just had this look on her face like, no, the
Jamie Lee Curtis. Only way I get it to her because she's a Hollywood kid. Her dad is Tony Curtis. Her mother's Janet Leigh from Psycho. She's pretty much Hollywood royalty. And Angela should have won an Oscar a year ago for playing Tina Turner.
Yeah.
They probably get when she did.
Probably. And that's so messed up because she's great. I love her.
She's beautiful. Can't believe this woman in her 60s. She looks like, man. You see me was playing Trey's mom from Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Miss Fishiana, I do appreciate you coming through. I don't want to hold you too
Thank
long.
you for putting that link out for me and inviting me. I had such a good time, and I missed you
Yes,
so
I
much.
miss you too. Oh.
I sent you an email, so can you look at the email right quick? Because I
Let
need you to send
me.
something.
Okay, let me see.
Start.
I did I give you the right email address?
Yeah,
Let me do it like this. I gotta let me reboot the. Let me see.
it should be 50 321 at Gmail.
Let me check something. Let me check my
Because let me see. Make sure I sent it. I sent it to.
just just
Yeah, it's the same one that's on the private chat.
let me check my spam. No, it's not in the spam. Should I know I sent you the right one. Let me see. It should be in my inbox.
Yeah, I
Let me
sent
check
it.
my update. You know, let me do this. Let me give you my number,
Okay.
and you can text it to my number because I don't know why it's not. It should my Gmail is something funny about Gmail sometimes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and you know,
So yeah, you can put that in the private, and then I'll send it right now.
okay. And I will probably once you send it there, I will probably see it once there it goes. You know, it should have came right immediately in my Gmail because you know sometimes I have like some ladies I reach out to for interviews. I reach out to emails and I might get them like I one time I was talking to one lady through an email. But it's just sometimes email is kind of funny. You know, I don't know why. And I sent you the link. I sent you the right.
Okay.
It's not in my spam, and you know, so I can tell you right now what I see in my spam is uh Brizzers MILFs know best.
Ah! Oh, okay. I saw you just got that. So
All right, I just heard it. Thank you.
okay. So I just wanted to do a test. So this is the username, and then I need you to make sure you can log on. So just try that right quick if
Okay,
you can.
okay. And I got your number. Can I save it?
Oh, you better save it.
Okay, I'll save mine. You save mine. I save yours. Okay, so okay, that's your Gmail. Okay, thank you. And that's so the Gmail is the so I just all I gotta do most of I do like just go on YouTube because see
On YouTube?
or is it well sometimes where what's the face would do they'll send you they give the link to YouTube if you have a account so on especially so it's you have Showtime right
Yeah.
okay let's test
You
it
can
out
either do the app or you can just go to the website.
I'll probably just see go to the website because I'm on the computer right now. I
Okay.
do too much stuff on my phone like that. You gotta be careful nowadays. That people like hacking things, stuff like that. People are just, I got really pissed when my IG got hacked. I just, damn, all that time I put into it, the stuff.
And then it was sending people messages that I didn't send to them. It was doing phone calls in the middle of the night. I didn't even know you could make phone calls on Instagram.
Well, you can, yeah, because I got a guy a while back. We talked, I know a few times where I've done especially in your DMs, I have talked on the phone with ladies through IG. I know one lady, she was really cool with me. She used to sometimes she do she used to do like live performances, and she'll send me the she'll send me the uh her video set up while she's doing live performances on a computer. She'll set up her computer and her thing where I can watch it too. It was like some very, very exotic stuff.
It was literally calling people, and I wasn't calling anybody. I was like, I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
I had I did a video where I told people who follow my on my channel say do not because somebody hacked my channel and I don't want you because I don't want you to think it's me.
Mm-hmm.
So just what you should do is if you don't recognize that's me, and you should just block it.
Mm-hmm.
And because you don't, because you things like I had one time I was on somebody sent me a DM and was trying to tell me that somebody I knew said, I asked him a question, and then I said, that's not you. But how it happened was I was talking to this person, and I thought it was just genuine. I let my guard down because how my saying is, I always tell people, especially ladies who I do interviews with, say, beware of surroundings at all time. Never let your guard down. Never give up your sure-footed for a killing blow. And I left my guard down. And it was just the next thing I said, wait a minute, why am I not getting back on my IG? And I'm pushing my code and doing this. And I said, what's going on? And I was just so pissed because all the stuff I put, the interviews I posted, the stuff I posted, the stuff I made, it was just, I can still go back there. It's not gone. It's
Right.
still there, but it's just, see what I did wrong.
Uh-oh.
See, I think I did something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm gonna send you this. It says, I'm supposed to put in the email.
Yes.
Okay. And okay, all right, I use your email. Yeah, sorry. I'm still learning.
It's okay.
And but yeah, I was frustrated. I mean, putting that time, that work, in that on that IG, the connections I made with the ladies I had, some of them I pretty much, had to restart over again and made some new ones. You know, there's some ladies I was planning on doing interviews with,
Oh, wow.
and I just hated that I lost those connections, and had started over again.
I might start over. It just
But
kind of
like,
depressed me a little bit.
I know it irks you, but you know what? It's it never hurts to start over. It's not like it's that hard to start over. It takes a while to regain.
Yes, to start back over on YouTube.
Yeah. I had a channel before, but what it was I was posting stuff that wasn't. I was supposed to be copyrighted. I didn't know that, 'cause, so that, everybody don't always read those whole YouTube rules. You don't read them all. And what it was copyright stuff, so I couldn't post anything. So after a while, I let it go. But then after my mom got sick and I was taking care of her, I started back my YouTube channel, and there it goes. I am on. So thank you. I thank you, dear lady. What do I owe you?
Not a dang on thing. Just invite me over again. I work a lot. I work a lot, and it's like this is my first. This is gonna be my first Friday and Saturday off in over a year. So I'm really enjoying myself, and this even made it even better. So I really appreciate it. So I work a lot. So when I see you on and I'm off, I'm gonna be like, put a link in the chat.
Well, like I used to work a lot too. I used to work two jobs. I used to work my first job was 16 hours working at a gas station. I worked at a gas station for like 15 years. I was a stock person, then I was a cashier, then I was assistant general manager. So that story went down. Then at the same time I was working that job, I was, when I was like about, when my family moved to town, got maybe about 4 or 5 years later, my sister got me a job working at her textile plant. That's called Sophie's. I worked there the first 8 years, then I quit, came back, worked for the next 5 years. Because for a while I was going to school for a little bit, and then I had a couple of, I was working some temporary jobs, and I decided, I wanted to go back because the other one I was working at a cold storage place. I couldn't that cold storage thing was getting to you, and then I got fired from that job. At the same time while I was working that job, I was working a job at a strip club, and yeah, I mean, I got guys who say, man, George, man, you work in the strip club, all those girls. I said, dude. It's not, some of those women, they're there to make some money. They're not there to be your buddy. It's just there to, sometimes there was some cool, some ladies I had some good times with outside the club. Some ladies, we were just good friends. And, I enjoyed that job till that club closed down. That was about 3 years ago. And then I got my disability, and then my mom, I took care of her till she passed away after she got the virus. That was it's gonna be 3 years this coming end of June. Yeah, and her birthday was last Sunday. She would have been 81 this year.
Wow.
And my mom was my woman. I remember somebody told me this a long time. So George, you live with your mama, son? I said, yes, ma'am, I do. And he said, son, stay with your mama as long as you can. Do what you gotta do as a man. Always come back home to mama. And that's what I did. And I never really, like I said, I'm type of person. I'm kind of, me private. But when she passed, it was just I felt like I had a vacant spot because I was doing the stuff like you're doing, making stuff on YouTube. But then when she was gone, you know what? I really had to ramp it up a little bit. So keep my mind busy. I don't have a job anymore. I don't have anybody to take care of other than just myself. And that's why I said, I got to lose a little weight because I'm getting older. I'm almost going to be 49 coming November. Like I said, start taking care of myself, and then I started doing these interviews with women in boxing and women in MMA, women in bodybuilding, mostly more bodybuilding. I hadn't done an interview with anybody in mixed martial arts in a while. I might reach out to my friend Sarah and see if she want to come on and do an interview after her fight. And also I might reach out to a couple ladies who just going to compete in the show coming up this Saturday, which is Vancouver Island Showdown in Vancouver, Canada. I'm reaching out to a couple and see if they want to come on and do some interviews, because it's been a while since one lady I interviewed about a couple years ago. Another lady we've been good friends. She's a black sister from Canada who's Jamaican. And I hope to get her on. She hadn't competed for almost a couple of years. I hope to get her on here sometime soon and do an interview with her. She's also a mom. She's a great lady, cool lady. She taught me some stuff I didn't know. One of the ladies, her birthday's coming up Friday, so I said shout out to Shay Mashaka. Cool lady. She lives in Texas. Maybe someday Shay would get both me. You get to meet. I might reach out to her, see if she want to come on and do an interview with me from my channel. See her experience after she hadn't competed for almost a couple of years in bodybuilding. Great lady. She's 50. She's gonna be 53. I think 54 in this Sunday. And I just great lady. Cool person. She's a friend of a friend, and I support her. Yeah, but
I'll be looking out for that.
All right, thank you. So whatever next time I do like another, I might see. Like I'm gonna watch the fight. I got nothing to do on Saturday other than my laundry. I might come on if you're free on Saturday. I can tell you we can do like a live stream or. I do a thing on Monday. If you're free on Monday, we do a Must Talk Monday. We talk about bodybuilding. I know you know about bodybuilding. If you want to ever come around, join us. Let me know.
Okay, I surely will. I got the number now, so we good.
Yeah, good. You got my number. I got. It's been a long time. I got a single lady's number. I love that song. It's been a long time since I touched the lady.
You get it.
I know somebody say I'm wild, but you get older. Like when you get older, you start. You just decided. What?
Look, when we get older, we don't give a fuck no more. We do.
No. I had a lady. I just interviewed a lady who's a female bodybuilder. She's 50 years old. She has 3 kids.
I was in the chat for that.
Yeah, Miss Ursula. She said the same thing. We get to the point where we don't give a damn.
She said it was so funny. She said when you said nobody don't be sending no DP, no D pics. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna handle it all right." She said, "You ain't got to do nothing." She said, "I know how to handle it."
Yeah, she's a great lady. Like I said, I hope she does get her pro card this year. Some of the ladies have come friends. I hope to get the opportunity to get the pro cards or get to Olympia. I mean, like I said, I respect these women. Like I said, growing up, like I said again, my mom, my 3 older sisters, only have 2 now. My other sister, she passed away about 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's what my mother passed about 6 years ago.
Yeah, and coming up, those were the most important women in my life coming up because my mom, she was, she practically raised us. My sister Betty, I ran into her this afternoon when I went to get my lunch. She was kind of like my second mother when I was coming up because people thought she was my mom because my mom had her when she was 16. Betty's gonna be 64 coming up in May, and people thought she was my mother till I was all the way up into middle school, and that's why I do this channel. My channel is dedicated to these women because, like I said, I respect for ladies. I remind you, ladies, and work you got through, and like my man Val Venus, I love the ladies. Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, this is about giving people like women in the sports like MMA, boxing, bodybuilding attention because they don't get enough of it compared to the men. And
Right.
I say it's about bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, the men in bodybuilding, and this is just how it is in the pimping. They're the bottom bitches. They're the ones who make the money, the ones that get attention. These ladies, I'm talking about how some ladies go do shows. They might make maybe $5,000 for a competition, while the men might walk away with $30,000 to $40,000. And and it's just not fair. But we all know it's about who makes the money, who brings it in. It's always gonna be men's sports. That's why it's a lot difficult for women. It could be basketball and football. You heard the whole thing with the Angel Reese mess and that, all like that. That's just crazy. Now, grown ass old men are getting mad by a little girl making fun of another girl losing a game. It's just
Right.
it's
Get
sad.
over it.
Get over it. Get over it. Get over it.
That's
But
right.
like I said, Miss Fiasha, my battery's running low on my computer. I enjoyed this time with you.
I enjoyed it too. It just
Yeah.
it's my day today. It's just what I needed because I've been going through my own little thing. I'm gonna tell you something before we leave. I'm just tell you this right.
Go ahead.
A couple of years ago, because like I said, I was living in Illinois. I had a 6-figure job. I had a 5,000 square foot house, and I have been sick for years. I've had 4 lumpectomies
Oh my
since
God.
since 2012, and it was just time for me to go because my family lives in the South in Georgia. So I literally quit my job. I sold my house and I left. I left everything. All I had with me was my car and my cat, and I left. I left everything. And it was during the same time where I left YouTube, and I just left everything. And I went to my mom's. I actually lived with my mom for a while, and then I just kind of went out on my own. But whatever you're going through, I'm telling you, you can get through it. It's just sometimes, and I understand what you mean about family and stuff like that. Sometimes you gotta let stuff go, and that's what I did. I let everything go, and I have no regrets about anything that I have done or anything that I have let go. I'm happy. I'm doing my thing, and I'm ready to get back on YouTube.
It's good. Like I said, I can tell you this about myself. Almost 10 years ago, coming next year, I had 10 years ago. It's gonna be 10 years ago this coming year. I had my first heart attack.
Mm.
I was 39 years old. I was working at a food processing plant, and I worked in the cold department.
Mhm.
I thought I was getting a cold. I thought it was just a little cold. My sister, she lived in, I said, what? I lived a lot farther. Where I live is Robeson County. It's a small town called Roland. We're like 2 miles from the South Carolina border.
Mhm.
That where my job was at was like maybe a good 50, 60 miles away from home. My sister lived in Fayetteville. She's a lot closer to me. 2 of my sisters did. My sister Mary, my sister G. I said, well, my sister G used to work for the health department. So I said, I go to her house. She can tell me something what I need to do. She told me, go to the emergency room, go to urgent care, get yourself checked out. So I went to urgent care. They found something in my blood when they were testing it. They sent me to Cape Fear Valley, which is the biggest hospital in Columbus County in North Carolina, Fayetteville. I was in cardiac unit for about a week. I wasn't too bad. I could still move around, walk around, but I was in cardiac unit because they want to watch my progress.
Mhm.
After I got out of there, I had to see some specialists. I went back to work. I worked for a good while. Then I had, went to a specialist in USC, that's Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The first specialist guy was a little Indian guy. Says, Mr. McArthur, we had to say to talk about your fracture rate's under 12%. Then next thing you know, it got serious when the next doctor came in. It was the British doctor. He said, Mr. McArthur, we have to send you to surgery immediately, sir. I said, shit. So I knew as soon as you get the British doctor in, and then no more than a week or two later, I had my surgery for my pacemaker.
Mhm.
It's a defibrillator. And this was like within almost like 3 months after I wasn't, I said I was wearing like this thing was a thing to keep me from monitoring my heart rate. And anytime I was at work, it started beeping. I said, I had to go home. So, I was out of work for almost a month and a half. Went back to work. I was working. Then one thing had me throwing pork shoulders onto his conveyor belt.
Mhm.
I'm that day I just turned 40. That was my 40th birthday. I've been working from I was around about 10 or 12 years old,
Mhm.
and they because the floor manager whatever was mad because I wasn't going fast enough. I'm like this. I'm 40 years old. I've been doing work that some adults don't want to do.
Right.
And you know what? If I'm gonna go fast for you, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna yell. I did this when I worked in my old job at my well, first time I quit my job at my shop at the textile plant. I walked out. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna waste time. You know, I just walked out. The next day, later that evening, after I went out just to I was thinking about looking for a job and went and put an application. My parents said, "Go ahead and put your application for your disability and maybe or your unemployment, which one you want to guess." I will apply for my unemployment because I was there not even a full year at I was working with Smithfield. I wasn't there a full year. I was going to get at least $3,000 worth of unemployment, where I worked at Sophie for 5 years and not even $3,000.
Mm.
I was getting like by the time I quit, I was already at $14,000 a hour. I wanted to stay there at least another 4 or 5 years if I
Yeah.
could, if as long as I can. I was thinking about moving my mom and me out of the project, get myself a place to stay, and get myself a nice car. That's what I wanted to do. But I made that choice to leave that place because the fact was I wasn't going fast enough for them. I got a pacemaker in my chest. I'm going fast as I can with what I can. I'm 40 years old, working since I was 10 to 12 years old,
Mhm.
and I started to work out. That later that evening, I was talking to my mom, me and my nephew. This to know my youngest nephew come running to my room. I said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" My mom's on the floor. She had her first seizure.
Mm.
She had to. It took her to the next close hospital, which is McLeod in Dillon. Then they had to um, uh, air vac. No, there wasn't air vac. They hadn't do air vac yet. They had to drive her, to Florence, which is the next biggest hospital.
Mhm.
She was there for at least about 2 months. She
Oh
came
wow.
home. Yeah, she came home. She did rehab at in our accountancies in Lumberton. She did that for about a few months, and then she wanted to come home. She came home, and then she had maybe no more than 2 or 3 months later, she had a next seizure,
Mm.
and then she went to rehab again. She came back home. Then I was going to school to Millamont, and I was studying massage therapy. My car broke down on the way to school. I had to get a ride back. I got to had to get the car picked up, and got a ride back, and then I had to work my job, at the club.
Mhm.
Then I came home because my car was broken. And one of the girls was really cool, great lady, Angel. Her stage name was Apple Bottom. Yeah, she wasn't a black girl. She around here we have a breed of people called the Lumbees, the Native Americans, but they're kind of a mixed breed. You have a little bit of black in them because she looks like a white girl, but she has some shape like a sister, and she was really cool. We used to talk a good bit, and I came home that night. Hospital came. My brother was staying here because my mother had she had a stroke or maybe a few months before that, and you can't live somebody behind such a stroke. So my brother used to come here. He used to go. He sit here and then he catch his ride to work, and then I come in at night and take over. And then that was her third seizure, and she had to do rehab again. And then my job the club closed. And I just had my family say, go ahead and apply for disability. It took a couple of years. I finally got my disability. And mom had another seizure after that. Then she was in Charlotte, and then she was doing pretty good. She was doing rehab, but she was bedridden because of the seizures. And then one day because she had some kind of allergic reaction or something, so she had to go to the hospital. And that was around 2020. And then because of she had caught the virus in the hospital. I don't know how the hell it happened. They said she didn't have it, then she didn't have it. And then it's no more than 2 or 3 days later because of what the virus doing to her body. They're trying to save her, and then she just passed. So I like this. My woman's gone. I don't got anybody. So you know what? I love my brothers and sisters. They have their lives. They have their kids. But and I started doing this stuff, content on it. It wasn't. I think I met the coach before I started doing this stuff, and the coach really, shout out to my man, the coach Sherry Harrison. He really inspired me. He said, George, you can do something. Do what you like to talk about. I said, yeah. People say, hey, talk about this, talk about that. I said, no, I want to talk about bodybuilding. And I just last year, I just went to my first bodybuilding show. It was great. It was fun. I got to meet some ladies I've followed. I met a couple ladies that I have that interview with, and it was great. I was hoping to go to another show because I have a niece. I missed my train. I went to Savannah. And I missed my train. My oldest niece stayed in Atlanta. She drove me back home, which she drove her old uncle back home. I appreciate that. Shout out to my niece Marlena. Marlena was she was in service like yourself. She did about at least I would say 10 years in the Army before she decided to get out. I have a nephew. He did at least about 15. He got out just a while back. That's why I have respect for you, service people. That's why I like to say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice you made for our country. Yeah. So
15?
You
said 15?
Well, he was in for about 15, and she was in for at leleast about, I would say, 12 or 13.
Wow.
Yeah, he got in young because he's my young. He's not the youngest nephew, but he's the youngest. My brother, he has like a bunch of boys. He got like 9, 10 kids. He got 8 or 9 kids. He's very fruitful. He has 3 baby mamas and an ex-wife. So he got married out of high school. His first wife, and she has 2 sons with him. 3 kids with baby mama. But I love him. I love him. I saw him. We had Easter together. My sister had an Easter party. I saw him. I seen him in a while. My niece and I practically grew up and practically raised them. It's just I'm not a father, but I feel like a father figure to them, and they come to me for one thing, like, hey George, you got some money? But I love them and I appreciate it. I love my mom. I miss her. She and my brother James are the 2 people that inspire me to be who I should be. It was for my brother James, and my brother James played football. He loved bodybuilding. He loved collecting the magazines. I used to love the magazines. I liked the women because something about the women was so very different. I was getting into my teenager. I like the guys because like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was big then. Lou Ferrigno. The Incredible Hulk. Oh Lou. Oh Lou, remember there's a movie Puppet Line when Arnold Schwarzenegger picking on Lou Ferrigno. Oh Lou, your muscles not that big. Oh Lou. I wasn't a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, but this is shit always coming out a lot lately. I just kind of turned off. I still like him in a way, but still shit he's doing, just especially political stuff like that, it's just not my fan of. But doing content like this, talking about women bodybuilding, women in MMA, and just talking about other stuff out there in the world. That's why I like being on YouTube. This is something to keep my mind busy. Since I don't work anymore, it's something. I don't have my mom to take care anymore. This is something to keep my mind busy. I can understand what you're going through. Like I said, I lived with my mom for most of my life. I've stayed with my sisters for a bit here and there. But most of my life, I live with my mom, and and it's just I miss her every day. I do, and I'm glad you got yours, and she was there for you when you were going through what you were going through.
Yeah. She is. I mean, I'm still going through what I'm going through, but it's gonna be all right. And I just, I have to go to work to keep my mind off of, other things, and it works for me. Sometimes I forget what I'm going through, but. I just have to do certain things. I got to eat a certain way. I got to take certain medications. I got to do all this stuff. And it's like, damn, I'm getting old. I be forgetting.
I know I feel like I said, I take medications because I got heart, but like I said, I'm doing pretty good. Losing weight, doing a little better. I have some difficulties because, like I said, arthritis is setting both of my knees. I had a while back. I couldn't work out for a good while because I had a spur in my left shoulder. I got a tear in my right shoulder. I'm like I got 2 bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I started back working out this week because I said my car got to get fixed, and then I had to feel like I want to get some time here. So also I was procrastinating. Yeah, because I just want to take time and really just relax and really get back into it. But like I said, but this is something I learned. One of my, as you know, is if you ever see my interviews, I'm using my man. This is my other moniker. This is the Lord of the Wall, Jon Snow, the Bastard of Winterfell. I use that when I do some other commentary, but also in my other commentary, the other guy. That other guy when he comes out, he inspires me. He completes me, and from because I love the whole Batman Chris Nolan trilogy. If you don't like it, but I liked it because it was a great way to tell a story. A different stories of the Batman of the Batman mythos. Where the part in the first movie, Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul, tells no, this not not the part when Thomas Wayne Thomas Wayne tells his son Bruce said, Bruce, why do we fall, son? To learn to pick ourselves up.
Say that one more time.
Why do we fall?
The white guy?
Say, why do we fall?
Why do we fall?
To learn to pick ourselves up. That's a great quote. That watch back. I know you're a girly girl. You may not watch that. You like Eddie Kane. You're like, let's like this. I wish that way. My mom and sister, they love that. But like I said, the Batman movie, they have great quotes in it from Batman Begins to Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises, not that many other than the part when Bane says, you were born, I was born in the dark. You adopted dark, I was only born in it. I like that part, but it's that like the Joker, he has some great quotes. And and also there's also one quote said, he either stay long to be the hero or eventually or live long enough to be the hero, or live long enough to die to be, either die the hero or live long to become the villain. And sometimes it's fun to be the villain. But like I said, Miss Yesha, I really miss our time together back on the old site. I mean, not the same much anymore. I mean, it's just one person left over there, and I still go over there and support there. I mean, it's Ashley and and the other girls, so like Ashley Quay and Tay Tay. She posting stuff now. She does a lot of stuff on anime. I still support them, and I will support you too because, like I said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you ladies. I mean, I enjoy when I come on late nights and we talk a little dirty shit together. Yeah, but I'm not gonna hold you much longer. I know it's your day off. You want to enjoy it, but I do appreciate you coming through.
Well, I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you inviting me, and it definitely won't be the last time. And you say you could get on the site, so cool.
Yeah.
And I'll be watching that tonight. Look, in my old ass, it might be watching me, depending on.
Hey, don't be afraid. Sometimes, sometimes I'll be on my computer working on stuff, and then, well, what time is it? What time? Because also I have sleep apnea, so I'll be.
I do too.
Yeah, because I was supposed to get I had a CPAP machine because I wasn't, put enough hours. So I was working late at night. I wasn't put enough hours. I eventually had to take it. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm trying to apply for a new one. I'm still waiting on for the doctors to clear it or whatever. So, what insurance is. It's just a trip. Yeah. I mean, it's a cost. I mean, I was getting some shots from my knees. My doctor.
That thing is really important. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That thing is really important. Please. I lost my brother at 49 because he didn't use his. So please.
Yeah, I try to go to my doctor my main doctor, my primary doctor. I go to him every 3 to 4 months, just to make sure I give myself a checkup, renew my prescriptions. I go to my cardiologist every 2 to 3 months. Actually, every 2 to 3 times a year, because I got it. Like I said, with this pacemaker, I always got to get tested because my battery's still good for the next 3 more years, and then probably have to go to surgery to get a new battery. And I was seeing my my orthopedics for a good while, but because I don't want to do therapy, no point doing therapy, just wasting money because something's going to wear out eventually. But surgery, I might think. I mean, you say suggestion surgery like a scope, where you just scrape the arthritis off your what's face. But I'll just maybe down the road when I feel like I am brave enough for that. I already been cut on. I don't think I want to be cut on anymore.
Yeah, I've been cut on too many times. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm not getting cut on.
Well, like I said, you know what? That's why I say, why do we fall? To learn how to pick ourselves up.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, and also the Rocky Balboa said, keep pushing, no matter how you get hit, keep pushing forward. That's how winning is done. Hey, yo, Rocky. Hey, Deanna, I did it. This is what I love doing when I conversation. I love to make a lady laugh and feel comfortable. That's why I do my interviews. I like to make them feel comfortable too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I do appreciate your my time, ladies. Folks out there, if you want to check out Miss Fishiana, follow her on what's your YouTube channel?
YouTube is Fistiana Fights. I had a test live stream the other day. It ended up being a conversation. It was only going to be a test, but
Yeah, I listened to a little bit. I think Mike was in there and a couple of people.
yeah, Bruce Gas. It was a few people up there. So
Yeah, I know Bruce Gas. He comes out a guy who following. His name is Big Duke. He has a channel called Fourth Quarter Talk. He's here in North Carolina like I am. He's a bodybuilder. He's a men's physique competitor. Cool dude. I pick on Duke. I say, Duke, you're a pretty motherfucker. I can't stand you. He's cool dude, yeah. But he talks about stuff like that. But yeah, I follow Mr. Bruce too. But I do appreciate you for coming through. I do appreciate my man KL coming through and spending time here for a minute. All people who listen to this interview, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. Also, you can find Miss Fishiana. She's in the comment section. You can click onto her channel and check it out. I'm going to click on and see. I think I still subscribe to your channel. I believe I still am. If not, I'll probably resubscribe if you start a new channel and just reopen your channel. But folks, I mean, this fight's coming up. Tonight. If you have most definitely if you have the Showtime cable, Showtime app, whichever, check it out. Support these women in mixed martial arts. Support these women in these sports. Like I said, it's just like I said, women, they have a harder time than us men. Because it's especially in combat sports, it's not the women's nature to be violent, but any human is violent, depending you to be pushed. Yeah. So anyway, folks, I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing, comment, subscribe. Check out this fight coming up. There's also going to be another fight on Saturday coming up. And the only reason I'm talking about this one because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Deanna Bennett and the story how if she wins this fight, she wins the fight. That's it. She's not going to be champion because she came in overweight. And if and the fight is going to become vacant, so that means that more likely they might do this. They might have to have a rematch between Deanna or whoever's next on the line for the 125 title at Bellator. That's a possibility. It's all up how this fight's going to go. But folks, like I said, I've been out here for a good while. I was just going to comment for maybe about an hour or so. But talking Miss Fishiana, boys, a lot of time. Guys, we know how it is when we sit and talk with a girl on the phone like late at night, saying like, "Hey, girl, I just like I like you too." And your mom says, "Your boy, get that phone up." And I say, "I didn't do that. My brother used to do that." But I knew some women, but we wasn't. We were cool like that. But it was not. That was never me. That was one of those guys. I was kind of introverted, but I do appreciate you for coming through. I wish you all the best luck in your channel. And if like I say you want me to come on and just talk, like I said, whatever boxing I know, because I say I'm not much. I bring in some refreshing talk with MMA that could help you out too. But I do appreciate you for sharing your story, and I hope everything's the best for you. And I wish you all the best luck and blessing.
Thank you. You too, darling.
All righty. So, anyways, yeah. All right. See you later. Bye. Thank you. So. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you coming through. Share, comment, like, subscribe, support these women in mixed martial arts. These ladies put in a lot of work, just as much as the men too, and they deserve this. And check out the fight coming out. I'm gonna check it out because thanks to my dear friend Miss Fishiana, she gave me the hookup. She got me the hookup. I got the hookup. Holla, didn't you hear me? So I wish y'all folks all the great rest of the day. We'll be coming back in another about hour or so. When we do our live discussion for the upcoming Vancouver show. If for you bodybuilding fans, that's what you're looking forward to. My man Jen, and I do appreciate y'all for commenting, subscribing, check out my channel, and supporting this video. Share, like, subscribe, and also just appreciation for all of you. So anyway, this is your man all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I am out. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bennett.